This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Haldeman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports show. We got a busy day on the channel today at racingdudes.com. Got a lot going on. We've already had one show in the books. We've got this one, and then we've got 3 more to go past this one as well. Got Blinkers Off coming up, Magic Mike, and then the halftime show with Slim and Samish. Papa Dude, we got to be on our game today. Are we ready?
You bet. Let's get after it. We've got, let's see, we're starting the second half of the college regular season, college football regular season. So
that's right. And you mentioned right before we got on the air, let's kind of talk about who may be playing who for these conference title games, and we'll go as we kind of go through the games and talk about our bets. We will actually, kind of talk about that as well as like, look, what does this mean for the conference? So a lot to talk about.
You bet. And there's some great games this week in both college and the NFL. There's a couple of really good NFL games.
It's a great college weekend for sure.
Yeah, college.
Isaac, that's a good question. How are you guys doing? How are you doing?
Well, Isaac, I haven't seen you in a while. We're doing good. Your Chiefs are playing great, and we'll talk about them here in a little bit. Hope you're doing well too. Haven't seen you in a while.
Sad Razorback fan is Shoddy, but Shoddy, I see that you're booked for the Derby and the Rebel.
I saw that myself. Yeah.
So we're excited about that. All right, let's get to it. We got a lot to do. We got Blinkers Off coming up in an hour and a half, so we got to be precise with this show. Get me off of here so I can get to the next one. All right, let's kick it off. We talked about it. We're going to talk about college football first, and we talked about great games all across the country this weekend. And we'll start with 2 undefeated teams, Penn State at Michigan. Michigan, a 7-point favorite in this game. Can the Nittany Lions cover? Can they win?
I think they can cover. I think that line's a little bit too much. Michigan has not played anybody, really. And they sure haven't played anybody this good. I think this is going to be an old-fashioned slugfest, Big Ten slugfest back in the 70s, 80s. I think we're looking 20-17, something like that. I don't think either offense is really that good, and both teams play solid defense. I was talking to my Michigan buddy. He's really worried about this game. I think Penn State's had a week to prepare. That can go either way. I like Penn State in this one. I don't know that they win, but I think 7's too many.
7 does seem like a lot. I think JL makes a point here. He says you assume Penn State is somebody. I don't know if either one of them are that good. I'm not sure on Penn State either. They have a couple of nice wins, but they really haven't played anybody too tough. Probably the win at Purdue was their best win.
Yeah.
Michigan was good in games that they should have been. And then these last few games, like the Indiana game, Iowa, they weren't great against. I don't know.
I think they're both solid teams. I really do. I don't know if they're the next level,
Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go with you. I think I'm going to go Penn State plus the 7. Yeah. I think it's going to be close. I kind of think Michigan's going to win. But yeah, I'm going to go, I'm going to go Penn State plus the 7. That was a toss-up one for me.
It really is. It's a good game. It's going to be a really good one. I like to say we're going to be on the road, so we're not going to see it. But I just think Michigan hasn't really proven anything so far. I disagree with that also. I don't know. I don't care how bad Auburn is. You go to Auburn and you win as easily as Penn State did. That's a good win.
Yeah. They do have, they've been on the road and won, and so that's good going into Ann Arbor. Toughest game for sure, but they have went on the road and won, so that's a positive. So we're both going with the Nittany Lions. All right, let's go back, or go on, I should say, to another couple games here that aren't quite as big, but do involve ranked opponents. Auburn is reeling. They're looking for a victory. They're a 15-point underdog on the road this week against Ole Miss. Ole Miss still undefeated. Do they stay undefeated? And more importantly, do they cover?
Really like this Ole Miss team. I like the way they're playing. They are so different from the team of last year and the year before. where it was all offense. Their defense is pretty good. They run the ball. They're balanced. 15's a lot, but they're at home. I think they cover.
I like Tennessee a lot, or Tennessee. I like Mississippi a lot, and I'm with Jay. I mean, this Auburn thing is not going to go away. Like, it's going to be a long season. They're going to lose a lot more. They're going to lose this one too. I've got Ole Miss in this game. I'm with you. I like Ole Miss. They're a more complete team. They're not as flashy, but they might be better this year.
I think they are.
Been. And you mentioned it. The defense at Ole Miss is pretty darn good.
Yes.
So yeah, the Ole Miss unders finally let Russ down. He'd been playing them, but they were playing Vanderbilt. So there's the caveat. Last week,
I think Kiffin has matured. He's found his place. He's a good coach. He really is. He's recruited well there. He's in a place where he's not in the limelight so much. He can just coach, and he's doing a great job there. I like that. I like that team a lot.
Yep, I like Ole Miss as well, and I think I like Kiffin too. Well, all right, we got to talk about Oklahoma because they're playing a ranked team. This might be the last time we talk about the Sooners for a while. But they host number 19 Kansas. Kansas got beat last week. They stay in the rankings at 5-1. The Sooners 3-3 off 3 losses. Everybody knows OU's a 9-point favorite in this game. What do you think is going to happen in Norman?
I don't know how they're a 9-point favorite. I guess it's because they're Oklahoma and Kansas is Kansas and the game's in Norman. That's the only thing I think of. I don't think they win. I just don't. You got to have some defense to win games, and KU can move the ball. They have a very good offense, and they torched us last year. And I just don't think Oklahoma can stop them enough to win. They're going to be better this week with Gabriel playing. We don't know what for sure, but all signs point to the fact he's going to play. That will make them a lot better. This is a season-saving game for OU. They have to win this game. And this team has not shown that they are capable of rising up and winning. I'm scared to death of it. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to going to see what happens. I just don't have much optimism. I take Kansas all the way, +9.
I'm going Kansas +9 for sure. I think OU might, rebound and win the game, but it's hard to think that OU is going to win by more than 9 points against anybody right now. Another thing you think about, Gabriel may play, but it doesn't mean he's going to stay in the game. Like, what if he gets hit again? The one thing if the quarterback is not the most healthy, and behind him it's not good. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, I was listening to some stuff. Oklahoma is last in the Big Ten in rushing defense. They're giving up over 300 yards a game rushing.
Yep.
Guess who's number 1 in rushing in the Big 12? It's Kansas. They're going to gash us. We have not been able to stop the run for the last 3 weeks. Main reason why we've lost all 3 games, one of the main reasons. You have to stop the run. Their offense has a lot of motion in it. From all indications, our defense doesn't know what they're doing. Our players get lost when there's motion, when there's any kind of deception. This offense could absolutely destroy us. And I heard him talking about that yesterday, and that really floored me when I heard those stats. Kansas has got a backup quarterback, but this kid was a starter last year. He threw for 4 touchdown passes in the second half against TCU, a game they could have won last week. I don't think there's a big drop-off between the number 1 and number 2 at Kansas, and we know there is at OU. Now, one thing about an injury, yes, he may not be healthy, but he doesn't have anything. I'm talking about Dylan Gabriel. He doesn't have our quarterback. He doesn't have anything wrong with his legs. It's a head injury, and they're not going to let him play if he's not clear of that. So the fact that it's not a shoulder or ribs or a leg injury, that's good. That's good for OU.
You're alluding that if he plays, he will be 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm not looking forward to watching Kansas go up and down the field on us yet again. I watched them do that last year. They should have beat us last year. So, won't be
And
anything
I'll
new.
tell you another thing. I watched a lot of that Kansas game last week. I don't see much of a difference in the talent level between these two. I really don't. I think Kansas has got some talented players.
I think they've got speed. I think they've got speed that can match up for sure. And I don't know. Well, maybe they can up front with us because we're not what we used to be. So, Kansas plus the 9. Good for us. All right. Iowa State goes on the road to take on Texas. Texas is a 16-point favorite in the spot. Iowa State really hasn't lost anybody badly. Well, I guess Baylor kind of got them late. But what do you think? Can Iowa State hang in here? It's been a while since the Longhorns have beaten the Cyclones.
It has. Iowa State's like Iowa. Fantastic defense. Can't score. I really like Texas. I was impressed with them offensively. I think they have weapons. They're at home. Was that too big a celebration down there in a Cotton Bowl for them? Will they be flat in this game? I don't think so. I think they're going to use that as a springboard. I look for them to beat them pretty easy, like 35-10, something like that. So I think they're going to cover.
The one thing I would caution people, don't take that win and think Texas is some kind of great offense. And I was trying to tell you that last weekend.
I know.
I wouldn't take what you saw against OU and say, well, they're great. Quarterback's great. Everybody's great. Everybody looks great against OU, right? Kansas State, they look like great players up and down the field. They scored 10 against Iowa State last weekend. So let's see. This is where, to me, the quarterback, all those great players really start to prove it for Texas because they play a much better defense this weekend in Iowa State. I'm with you. I think Texas covers this, but I think it'll be a much tougher game for Texas this weekend. So we'll see. We'll see how their offense looks this week compared to last week. So, Ewers did look pretty good against Alabama. He also didn't get to play a whole lot. We really just haven't seen this kid much. So we saw him in the first game, which was nobody. We saw him for a quarter against Bama. He looked good. The OU game, I mean, it is what it is. We make everybody look good. So I think this Iowa State game is when we start to learn about him because Iowa State, as challenged as they are offensively, they are good on defense.
They are.
So that will be a big challenge for them this weekend. So I'm not saying they're not going to be good. I'm saying this is when we'll start to judge them.
Yep.
And it's, against realistic competition, that might actually try to slow them down. So we'll see. But we're both taking the Longhorns. I think this game's really interesting. Probably the biggest game in Illinois in a long, long time. 5-1 Illinois, now in the top 25, ranked 24th. Takes on 4-1 Minnesota. Huge game for the Big Ten side of things as well. That is the West, I guess. Yeah. On the Big Ten side, Minnesota is 6.5-point favorite. What do you think about this one?
Well, this is one of my upset specials. I like Illinois a lot. And Minnesota is one of those teams that they don't win games like this too often. Now they might, let me back up. If they're 6.5-point favorites, let's say against maybe Michigan State, Purdue, something like that, they might. Or they don't cover those kind of games. Illinois, they might have the confidence to go in there and beat them because they're Illinois.
Yeah.
But I think Bielema's got something going up there. They've been beating people. Now, they weren't very impressive last week. So that slows me down a little bit. I thought they would beat Iowa worse than they did, but they won. Didn't see any of the game. I don't know if there was turnovers. It sounded like a terrible game. I think it was 9-6.
Yeah.
But I like Illinois a lot. The winner of this game might very well be fodder for the they're going to get killed by the east side of it in the Big Ten championship game. But the winner of this game might win the Big Ten West. Can you believe Illinois might be in the Big Ten championship game? That is unreal. The other team that's involved in that is Purdue. They're going to have something to say about this. They've already beat Minnesota. And I think they beat Illinois too, right?
No, Indiana beat Illinois.
Indiana beat Illinois, and that's really hurting. Illinois.
Yeah.
But Purdue's probably the better of these three teams, I would say. Anyway, back to this. I like Illinois. I think they might win it outright, and that's going to be one of my best bets, an upset special. I like Illinois over Minnesota.
I kind of think I'm leaning the same way. I think this Illinois team's decent. The game they lost was just a joke. They never should have lost it. They totally blew that game. They should be sitting there at 6-0.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, Minnesota, it's like, okay, are you different than normal? Nope, you lost the game you shouldn't have lost to. I mean, they should be at 5-0 as well. So I think Illinois wins a very ugly, close game. That's what I'm predicting here. But I'm with you. I'm going to take Illinois plus the 6.5.
They specialize in those.
Yep, they do. And they are, the Iowa-Illinois game, they're the same type of teams, right? They're just, they're not very good. So, but they know how to win, and that's what Illinois has kind of been able to do. So
Bielema was a good coach in the Big Ten. He did not fit in the SEC, but in the Big Ten, that guy, that's what he's made for.
Well, you can kind of see why he didn't fit in the SEC. Like, you can't bring a team like that to the SEC. No. They're not going to win week in and week out because they're going to get gashed and they can't move the ball. So it is what it is. But yeah, up there, he has proven he's very, very good. All right, Vanderbilt and Georgia. Georgia, 38-point favorite. I mean, what are your thoughts on Georgia? They should dominate.
They should. It just, are they ready? Are they looking to some other game? That's the whole thing on this. If they're ready to play, that should be 52-10, something like that. So
yeah, should be pretty easy.
I think I don't like those kind of games because you just don't know what's going to happen late in the fourth quarter.
Right, and that'll be the key to covering or not covering for sure. All right, here we go. Game of the week. Alabama at Tennessee. Alabama comes in as a 7-point favorite. They have been vulnerable looking in back-to-back weeks, but they were without their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Bryce Young should be back this week. That's the good news for Alabama fans. The bad news is this Tennessee team is dynamic offensively. Bama has had some defensive struggles over the last couple of weeks. All right, another tough road game for Alabama. Is this the week they get tripped up?
Well, again, we're seeing you must have your quarterback. I don't care who you are. You must. And when you have a Heisman Trophy quarterback, it just makes it even worse when you lose him. He's back. How healthy is he? Now, he doesn't have a concussion. He's not recovering from a concussion. He has a shoulder injury. Mm-hmm. Totally different ball game right there. So is he fully recovered? We don't know that. This is going to be a heck of a game, I think. I don't know whether Tennessee's quite there yet to beat Alabama. They scored a lot of points on them last year. And the difference in this Tennessee team, it looks like to me, is they're so much better defensively than they were a year ago. I think Alabama wins this, but I think this could be a field goal type game. It's possible.
Yeah, if you made me take the points, I would take Tennessee. I don't know that I can get all the way there that Tennessee's going to win, but it kind of feels like they're going to. I still think Bama wins this game. I'm going to take +7 on Tennessee. Yeah, Russ points it out. $328 is the cheapest ticket price, and this place holds 100,000. They are dying for this game. They want to win this game so bad.
A lot of you younger guys don't realize Tennessee 20 years ago was tough. I mean, they were the top dogs on that side of the SEC. It was them in Florida every year. And then they fell off, and that place is nuts. That is a crazy place to go play a game. Oklahoma went in there, I think 2013, 14. It was Baker Mayfield's sophomore year.
Yep.
And Tennessee wasn't as good as they are now. And OU was pretty good. And it was, I think, a double overtime win for Oklahoma. They had to come from behind to win it. And every one of those people that, and OU's been in a lot of places, said they'd never been in a stadium like that one was.
Yep.
Oh, but that's not going to bother Alabama. That will not faze them. The key is this. Is the quarterback healthy? Is he healthy? Is he 100%? If he is, I think Alabama will win. But if he's a little nicked up and don't think Tennessee's not coming after him, we could have a monumental upset. Even though Tennessee's number 6, I think most people will look at that as a huge upset if they beat.
I think the key to the game, Bryce Young was able to make plays to keep distance between Alabama and their opponent. If he's not quite healthy, doesn't quite play well, they kind of show up like they did against Texas and they leave them in the game, they will get beat this week because they're taking on an offense that if you leave this team in the game, they'll beat you. And so that's going to be the key. Can Bama kind of get separation and kind of keep them at arm's length the whole game? And, Tennessee keeps coming at you, but they can't get close because Bama keeps, extending the game, the lead. That's the key to the game. Right? If Bama leaves them in the game, they're going to get beat this week. They can't. They're playing with fire if it's the same type of game as the last couple.
You bet. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a classic. And I really think Tennessee is good enough to compete finally with Alabama. So that's the difference. Really, a couple other years, they've kind of maybe had them on the ropes or maybe they've hung with them for a quarter or a half, but they weren't good enough. They're good enough now. So we'll see. It's going to be a really good game. I can't wait for that one. All right, let's move on. Oklahoma State, TCU, another battle of unbeatens. This one not getting a lot of talk, but both teams are 5-0. TCU, I was shocked by this, a 4-point favorite at home here against the Cowboys. Where are you leaning in this one?
Oklahoma State just does not get any respect. They just don't. And I don't know whether it's because of Gundy and some of the things he said over the years. I don't know. But people don't respect him, and they should. And this is a huge game for Oklahoma State. If they win, they will have already beaten Baylor and TCU. Mm-hmm. And they'll have a leg up on things because Texas has a loss also. So huge game for them. I think they're going to win. I'm like you. I could see it -4 the other way. Oklahoma State a 4-point favorite. I like them a lot. I was not impressed with TCU last week against Kansas. Maybe I'm not giving Kansas enough credit, but I don't think TCU's got a good enough defense to beat Oklahoma State. I think they're going to score some points on them. So I like Oklahoma State in this one.
I like Oklahoma State as well. I'm not sure what TCU is. Again, they beat Oklahoma, and that got them in the top 25. And we've discussed how bad Oklahoma is. And then they beat Kansas. But what really, how good is Kansas really?
Well, we don't know.
And they beat them by 7. Now it was on the road, and they had to go down there or up there for TCU purposes and win. And that's not easy. But Oklahoma State, I think we know is pretty good. TCU, I'm not sure that they're that good.
No, and again, I don't want to take anything away from that win at Kansas. That was a very, very good win in a hostile place. They got a very lucky call towards the end of that game, too. I don't know if you saw that. There was a pass interference penalty that wasn't called.
Yeah.
And Kansas might have scored and tied that game, and who knows what happens. But anyway, you got to have breaks to win those kind of games. And that was a very impressive win for TCU. And their offense is playing at a high level. But Oklahoma State wins these kind of games. They've been winning these now for the last decade.
Yep.
This other games they slip up in, and this is not one of them. These are the type of games they win. And I think they're better than TCU, and I think they're going to win the game.
It's going to be fun to watch this one. I can't wait to kind of see what happens with this one. Man, there's too many games on at the same time, and we're going to be on driving for most of them. It kind of sucks, but this is going to be a good one for sure. Yep. I'm taking the Cowboys as well. We'll see. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a really good game. All right, North Carolina State and Syracuse. Nobody's talking about this, and I know why. It's not a marquee matchup as far as name value, but this is a big damn game for both these teams. North Carolina State 5-1, only lost to Clemson. Syracuse is undefeated. I was shocked. Syracuse a 3.5-point favorite in this game.
Totally shocked. I am totally shocked. And they're number 18.
I know.
Didn't they just get into the poll?
Yeah, they keep moving up.
Yeah, but they weren't even in the top 25, were they?
No.
So let's put them at 18. I mean, God. Anyway, Yeah, I'm like you, totally shocked at this line. If this was a Friday night game in Syracuse, you know how well they play on Friday nights
Yeah.
in Syracuse. I would be more on them than I am. I've seen them. I watched them a lot. The one I think they were on a Friday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they beat, who was it? They beat that night. That's
Oh
been
gosh,
long
they beat
ago.
who was the Friday night game? Virginia.
Okay, and that was a rock'em sock'em game. Very interesting game to watch.
Yeah.
I don't think they have enough offense to win. They really haven't played anybody that good. North Carolina State has played some really good teams here lately. I think they're going to win. I can't take Syracuse in this game, so I'm going to go with the Wolfpack.
I think the fact that North Carolina State's played some tough games is actually going to help Syracuse because they might just be like, yeah, it's still Syracuse. We beat Florida State. We were right there, with Clemson. We'll go up there and beat Syracuse and not worry about it. So that might play in a Syracuse hand. I'm taking North Carolina State plus the 3.5. Look, Syracuse may beat them. They're not, but it's going to be like a field goal game, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Wolfpack.
I think they're going to. I just think they're better.
Yeah, I do too. All right. Surprise. James Madison is the number 25 team in the country. First year playing at this level, and they're number 25. They're 5-0. They're pretty darn good. They will take on Georgia Southern, a team that did beat Nebraska earlier on in the season. 11.5-point favorite for James Madison here on the road. I've watched them a little bit. I think they're solid. What do you think? Do they kind of keep it going this week?
Well, I would like to know, and I think I know the answer. This may be the first time in history that a team in their first year of Division I has made the top 25.
Yeah.
I bet it is. I can't.
I don't think there's any way it's not. Yeah.
No. Will that affect them going into this game? Georgia Southern's decent. And I'd be a little bit afraid if I was James Madison ranked like this, and going on the road to a place that's been good before. They beat Nebraska. They're not awful. They did get drilled last week by Georgia State. Yeah. And that's a bad loss. 11.5, that's a lot of points on the road. First time you've been ranked. You might get a little nervous going into that game. I think I might take Southern and the points, but I'm staying away from it because I don't know enough about either one of them.
Yeah, I would say I'm not going to bet this game one way or the other. I think maybe getting into the top 25 could hurt as far as they might be not quite as focused, maybe don't know how to handle it. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that. Maybe Georgia Southern plays them close. So I will take Georgia Southern plus 11.5, but I like this James Madison team. I've watched it too. So we'll see how they handle it this week. See what happens. All right, Clemson goes on the road to take on Florida State. Clemson's had some nice wins already over Wake Forest and North Carolina State. Now they go on the road to Florida State. They've lost 2 in a row. If you notice, though, Clemson a minus 3.5 here. They're only a 3.5-point favorite. What do you think? Do the Seminoles kind of keep this one close?
I can't figure that line out either.
Yeah.
I think it should be 7, maybe 8. I think unless Clemson turns it over, I think they win that by 10 or so, maybe more. So I like Clemson minus 3.5 for sure.
I'm with you. I like Clemson minus a 3.5. The only thing I think with Clemson games now, they're a little bit worried about where to set the line because they're just not an explosive team.
No.
And I think that could be it. But I think Florida State, maybe if they would have pulled that game out last week, they come and maybe they believe they've got a shot in this one. But
they're not there yet. They're getting better. They're getting better. Much improvement. And they need to give that coach another year. Well, it depends on what happens the rest of the season. They're getting better, but they're not at Clemson's level yet.
I just don't think they are. I don't think they are either. And I don't know. I watch them and it's like something's missing. They're just not. Maybe this is it. quarterback just hasn't really progressed. Like he doesn't look very good. They're not very dynamic offensively, and it's like, can they really score enough to compete with Clemson?
I don't think so.
I'm not make sure. I'm not. I don't think so either. So
I will be shocked if Clemson loses.
All right, let's move on. Mississippi State at Kentucky. This one's kind of hard because you don't know if Will Levis is going to play. He's kind of listed as day to day. They're trying to kind of make a determination. Mississippi State right now is a 4-point favorite at Kentucky. I have a feeling that could come down some if Levis does play. All reports this week is it's like heading in the right direction. Let's assume he plays.
Okay.
What do you think's going to happen in Kentucky?
Well, the line has already come down.
Okay.
It was 7 when I looked on Monday.
Okay.
So it's down to 4. And I read before we had the show today that it looks, all indications are pointing that he's going to play. And Vegas thinks he is. So the line now is down probably to where it should be. 7 was way too much. Now, again, I think Kentucky's got a really good chance to win. Okay? If he plays and if he's 100%. And we don't know that.
Yeah.
So this is a game I think you got to stay away from because you just simply don't know. And the two teams are evenly matched, even if he is 100% healthy. This is a huge game for Mississippi State. Kentucky's lost 2 now, so they're pretty much out of it in the SEC. What is it? The East, they're out of that now. They've lost 2. They're not going to catch Georgia. They didn't have much chance. Anyway, Mississippi State is in the running if they win. This is a huge game for them. It would be their 3rd big win. I'm going to take them. I've stayed off the bandwagon for Mississippi State. I think they're really good. I really do. They throttled Arkansas last. I know Arkansas was without a quarterback. That's another thing. They've taken advantage the last 2 weeks of teams that quarterbacks have been hurt. Is it going to be 3 weeks in a row they take advantage? I don't know. But I'm staying away with it because I just don't know how healthy the Kentucky quarterback is.
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree with Dennis. I think Kentucky's going to win this game if he plays because this just kind of feels like the type of game Mississippi State loses, right? It's just like they got all the momentum going, and that a school like that loses a game like this usually. But if he doesn't, and I sit here and say, I'll take Kentucky +4, and then you turn it on and Levis doesn't play.
Yeah.
Or
out of it.
He plays, but he's like limping. And it's like, yeah, well, forget it. I want Mississippi State, so it's –
now, he has a leg injury, correct? It's a foot injury, right?
Yeah.
But he's not a big-time runner,
Yeah.
I'm staying away from it because I just don't know.
Yeah. Mississippi State did match up perfectly, Russ, with Arkansas. Their strength was your weakness. And plus, you didn't have a quarterback. You had no chance in that game.
No. If you don't have – no. We weren't going to win without Jefferson. They were not.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, again, I think we're just going to stay away from that. I don't want to get caught playing Kentucky because I saw what they have behind him, and it's not.
It's not good.
No, it's not good. All right, let's move on to the last one. USC 6-0. They go on the road. They finally play a ranked opponent. But Utah at 4-2, coming off a loss to UCLA. Utah, this has been a disappointing season, really, for them based on their expectations. What do you think? They are still favored in this game. That was surprising to me. Utah -3.5 here.
Well, this is a savior season game for them. They're done if they lose. And like you say, the expectations were through the roof for them. And they've got to win the game. It's at night. It's in Salt Lake City. They play extremely well there at night. USC's not played a team quite this good, but how good are they? I lost a lot of respect for them last week when UCLA throttled them. So I'm taking USC. I'm on the bandwagon there, Rodney. I think the Trojans are going to beat them.
I think the Trojans are the play at +3.5. I don't know that they'll beat them. I think the game's going to be close, and so I'll take USC +3.5. I don't think Utah should be favored in this game.
No.
They've done nothing to say they should be favored over USC.
No, they beat nobody. So
no. So this is in college. You got to think about this. If you've seen Utah's helmets for Saturday, honoring 2 players who passed away, huge emotional game for Utah. That might push them over the edge.
It could. You do play well in games like that normally. You normally do. Emotional carry you only so far.
Yeah.
I just don't know about their defense. They're not as good defensively as they have been.
Yeah.
But USC's offense isn't great either. So we'll see. I think if they get by this, if USC does, they might make the playoffs.
All right, let's talk about. I agree with that absolutely. Where did that go, Russ? Here we go. Bonus game for our Arkansas people. Arkansas goes to BYU, 2:30 on ESPN. This is going to be a really good game. Really evenly matched teams here, and Vegas agrees. The line is even.
Yeah.
So it's a pick'em game. Do you think Arkansas gets back on track this week?
It opened up minus 1.5 in favor of Arkansas. They were 1.5 point favorites, and now it's down to even. You got both teams that are reeling, both teams that are a little bit disappointing. I think Arkansas thought they would be better than 3-3 at this point. I did. I thought they might be 5-1 at this point, 4-2 at the worst. How much has been taken out of them? Now Jefferson's going to play, from what I read before we started the show. Then you got BYU that not stunk it up, but they didn't play like we thought they would against Notre Dame the other night. So they're reeling. The game is in Provo. That's a tough atmosphere to play in. If I had to pick, I would pick BYU, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas wins. But I've got to take BYU simply because they're at home.
Yeah, I took BYU as well. I kind of feel like Arkansas really needs that bye week in a bad way. And, they get it next week. I'm sure they wish it was this week or the week before even, so they wouldn't have had to not have KJ last week. So the whole deal is they just seem like they're reeling and they need to regroup. And it's a bad spot to try to regroup at BYU. I don't think BYU's that good, though.
No, I don't either.
And that's kind of the saving grace for the Razorback fans. I mean, you can look at that Notre Dame game and say they're not great. Like, we can go out there and beat them.
And Oregon thumped them too.
Yeah, Oregon's pretty good.
They are, but still, they beat them pretty bad.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have beat them that bad.
Yeah.
And if I was Arkansas fans, I would throw out last week. That game doesn't count. You did not have your quarterback. You're coming off Alabama. You're on the road. You made it a game. You didn't lay an egg like Oklahoma and not even show up.
Right.
That game was closer than it looked. So I'd throw that one out. I know I am. The game that's killing you is the Texas A&M game. That's the game that's killing you.
Yep.
So
absolutely killing you.
And Rush, right, your schedule is dumb.
Yeah. Why are you going to BYU? You play in the SEC. You don't need to be going to play BYU and playing Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, you didn't need the other one.
No, you didn't need either one of them. I mean, not only do they play in the SEC, they play in the toughest side of the SEC. And it's ridiculous that they've scheduled this. It's crazy, but that's
you're going to have to play Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU, the 2 Mississippis. I could go on and on. There's no reason to play a tough non-conference game. Maybe a middle-of-the-road team like, I don't know, Purdue or somebody like that, if you can play them. Because you need somebody. You can't just play 3 cupcakes or 4, however many you play. But this is nuts.
Yep, it's crazy. It's crazy. So what are you going to do? That's what it is, though, Russ. So, we'll see what happens. All right. Any other college games you want to mention before we go?
Just a couple real quick. I got Maryland at Indiana. Now, this is one I think I'll stay away from, but I think it's a little bit interesting. can Indiana play like they did last week? That's the thing
Mhm.
against Michigan. If they do, I think 11.5 is too many points for Maryland. So I'm kind of looking at that a little bit, but I don't know if they can play at that level.
Mhm.
Another one, Tulane, one of the best teams in the American Conference that's come out of nowhere. They go down to South Florida, and they're 12-point favorites. South Florida has shown that they're not bad. They can't win. Can they get back up from that Tennessee game, or not Tennessee, Cincinnati game, where they lost 28-24? If they play at that level, will Tulane beat them by 12? This is the kind of game Tulane struggles. I'd look at that one. And I don't understand this one.
Okay.
And I don't understand why this team's not number 25. You know where I'm headed with this? This is Coastal Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have bet if there was going to be a team from a lesser conference that would have been number 25, it would have been them with their reputation and not James Madison. They're at home this weekend. They play Old Dominion. That's 2-3, and they're only 11.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
If I was the coaches of Coastal Carolina, I'd be pissed that I'm not number 25, and I'd come out ready to roll and thump them as bad as I could. So I like them a lot to cover that and win by more than 11.5. Now, Old Dominion's record's a little misleading. They've lost a couple of games to decent power conference teams, but not great teams. So I like Coastal Carolina in that one a lot.
Reminder, Coastal Carolina and James Madison play on the last weekend of the year, regular season. So that's something to kind of look forward to in the Sun Belt. I think James Madison gets credit for beating Appalachian State, but I think what people don't realize is Appalachian State's really not very good.
No, they're not.
They beat A&M, and everybody thought, oh, they're great. They're really not. I'm with you. I like Coastal Carolina better than James Madison, but they're going to square off, and that's going to be something. By the way, Appalachian State lost to Texas State last week, so it's again. I think the media like, oh, they beat A&M, and then now James Madison beat them, and so that's a big win. It's really not.
No,
they're not very good.
Old Dominion lost to. Well, they beat Virginia Tech, but everybody else has too. And they lost to East Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah.
And Liberty beat them too.
Liberty's decent.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But I just think Coastal Carolina is really good. And I think 11.5 at home. I like that a lot. I like that game a lot.
Okay. Let's move on. Or any more? Do you have any more? Was that your last one?
No.
Okay.
We can
move on to the NFL. We will rapid fire this NFL schedule out here real quick because we got a hard out, 2:00. We got to be done. So we will go through these right now, and we'll start with tonight's game, maybe one of the worst games. And, well, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be worse than last week or not. But Washington goes to Chicago. Washington, a 1-point favorite. It was a pick 'em earlier. You like the Bears. Tell us why.
I don't understand why Washington's a 1-point favorite. I don't know what they've done to be a 1-point favorite over anybody.
Me neither.
The game's at home. Washington has to travel. Short week. The Bears have shown some life. They're not awful. So I like the Bears to win, and I would pick them if they were 2-point favorites instead of 1-point underdogs. So I like the Bears a lot in this game.
Do you think – I don't know. Like, are we overvaluing the Bears because they played a close game and maybe they shouldn't have last week? Like,
I don't think I'm overvaluing them. I just don't think Washington's any good.
I'm the same way. Like, I like the Bears. So, I mean, I don't think Washington looks terrible to me.
You don't think they do?
Over 38 points. You like that?
Well, the Bears have shown that they can score a little bit, and then the experts that we were on the show with today that knows the NFL a lot more than I do says the Bears defense is terrible. I beg to differ. But anyway, over 38, that's not very many points. So you would think it would get there. But I would tend to say under.
I would go. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because 38 is not a lot, but I don't know.
I think the Washington's a defensive line. It may be, but how strong? I mean, how big a strength does a 1-4 team have?
Yeah.
I don't know. I may be off completely, but this game just was jumped out at me because I would pick the Bears anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with Washington, I don't know. I think people think they should be a little better than what they are, but they just.
I'd like to know why.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's because they've lost some games where it's like, oh, you should have won. Like you had that, and it's just I don't know. Like the Titans last week, they had every chance to beat them,
but they did. And okay. The thing is, I'm just going a lot on home field, I guess, because if it's in Washington, I might be going the other way. So I just think two teams not very good. I think you got to go with the home team in this game.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I like I said, I like the Bears as well. So we'll see.
I wasn't wrapped by the way.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Fields. No,
he's not.
But they're 2-3. They know how to get into. They played some close games, so like they know what they need to run to keep the game close.
They were ahead of the Vikings in the fourth quarter last week.
Yeah, and I mean the thing about it is this Washington team, to me, they don't have any upside whatsoever. With the Bears, it's like there's some things to like about the Bears. I don't know. It's a terrible game.
It is. It's horrible.
And you can't really feel right about either one of them. It's not fun to pick a game like this.
No.
But
of the games I had to choose from today, that's of hockey, baseball, and this one stuck out the most to me. If it was a regular game with a whole bunch of other ones, it probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
But of the ones I had to choose from today, this one stuck out the most.
We'll see. It's going to be quite the battle. Hopefully we can stay awake for a quarter of this one. Or we'll just turn it over to hockey. That's probably what I'll do. All right, let's rapid fire the Sunday games now. And we'll start off. The 49ers go on the road to take on the Falcons. 49ers, 5-point favorites. They go to the East Coast for the second straight week, or at least the Eastern time zone. What do you think of this one?
I wonder if they stayed. I wonder if they didn't go back. I wonder if they just stayed over there. They were in Carolina last week, and I wonder if they stayed.
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know why you would with these chartered jets the way it is now. Anyhow, I love the way they're playing. I think they continue to roll. Atlanta's better than we think, and they're doing all right. But I think I like the 49ers a lot. If they're ready to go, I think they cover.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers as well on this one. I like them. I think this is a pretty good team. I think they're getting better. I think that win over the Rams kind of catapulted them. So I'm going to go 49ers to cover as well. All right, Patriots and the Browns. Patriots, pretty good game last week, dominated the Lions, back to 2-3. Browns, they're the Browns.
Yep.
But they are a 2.5-point favorite here. Cleveland is. So, it's a tough one.
No comparison between the two organizations. You got to go with the Patriots. I cannot pick the Browns. I just cannot. The Patriots looked good last week, so I like the Patriots plus 2.5.
I'm going to take the Patriots as well. I think they'll kind of be able to shut down the running game, and if they do, I think they can beat them. I'll take Patriots plus 2.5. I can't believe the Browns. Every week it's something different. All right, Jets on the road against the Packers. We talked about Packers 7.5-point favorite, by the way. We talked about on the show this morning, coming back from London, it's kind of been tough on teams. Packers, that's a lot of points. What do you think?
This is a hard one. The Jets are up and coming. They're playing much better. Can they go into Green Bay? They're not going to win, I don't think. I think I'll take the Jets plus 7.5, but I think the Packers. I think that half point's what's got me here. I think the Packers might win 24-17. So I'm going to go Jets plus 7.5.
I think the flip side of it is they lost last week. They really need to come out and play a good game and win. I'll take the Packers minus the 7.5. I'm not a believer in the Jets.
Well, I'm not betting. I'll tell you that for sure.
All right, Jacksonville goes on the road, and they're a 2.5-point underdog this week, taking on the Colts. Jacksonville dominated the Colts just a few weeks ago.
Right.
What do you think about this one? I mean, what's going to happen in Indianapolis this week?
I don't know. This is too. I mean, the Jaguars need their butts kicked for losing to Houston at home. Now, Indy doesn't play very well in Jacksonville, but I think they play okay against the Jaguars in Indy. Yeah. 2.5. I'm going to take the Colts minus 2.5.
I'll take the bait and take the Jaguars. This is one I'm not touching, though. I hate the Colts, and the Jaguars are still the Jags. I mean, they looked good for a while. Now they're back down to earth. I think they'll beat them, though. I'm going to take the Jags. All right, Vikings versus the Dolphins. Skylar Thompson will start for the Dolphins, and that's why you see the Vikings here as a 3-point favorite. What do you think?
Well, because of that reason, I'm taking the Vikings minus 3.
Yeah, I don't want any part of the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. I also don't really think the Vikings are great, but I think they're good enough to go down and stop Minnesota or stop the Dolphins in this spot here. I don't know. We watched Skylar Thompson a lot in person in college, and
he's not a pro quarterback.
He's not a pro quarterback, no. So I'll take the Vikings as well. The Bengals go on the road against the Saints. Saints got a really nice win, showed some life last week with a victory. Bengals, they need a victory. They're a 1.5-point favorite in New Orleans.
Bengals coming off a very tough loss at Baltimore. They need to bounce back quickly. I like them. I think they're gonna win that one. So I'll take Cincinnati minus 1.5.
I'm with you, and I'm with Kevin. They gotta win. They gotta win this game, and I think they will. I think they'll pull it out. I think it'll be ugly because that's what Cincinnati's been, but I think they will pull that one out. Baltimore on the road this weekend against the New York Giants. The Giants are 4-1. They just keep winning. Baltimore, though, a 5.5-point favorite in New York.
Well, we talked about this a couple hours ago, and both of us, me and you, I don't think you're sold on the Ravens, and I'm not either. I think you think they're pretty good, and I do too.
Yeah.
But they don't win games they should win. I'm not sure they should win this one. So I like the Giants plus 5.5.
I took the Ravens. I just watch them and I'm like, they're better than what they play, you know. Yeah. And I just don't think the Giants are quite good enough. I'm going to take the Ravens, and I'll probably be sitting here on my recliner Sunday going, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. They were up by 20 and now they're behind, you know. So we'll see. All right, Tampa Bay goes on the road to take on the Steelers. The Steelers are horrific. Tampa Bay, you know, they haven't been great, but they're 3-2. Tampa Bay's an 8-point favorite. What do you think?
A lot of points on the road. Scares me a little bit, but I think they win. Pittsburgh's awful. So if this game is close, even if Tampa wins, of course, winning in the NFL is all that matters. I think we got real problems in Tampa. So I'm going to stick with the Buccaneers minus 8.
Yeah, I can't get behind the Steelers in this spot. That's for sure. They may be the worst team in the league. I really think they are.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Panthers on the road, 10-point favorites this week, 10-point underdogs this weekend against the Rams. It's a must-win for the Rams.
Yep.
Carolina looks like they're done already. 10 points is a lot. What do you think?
This is the second worst team in the league, or maybe the worst.
Yeah, they might be.
I think they're a little better in Pittsburgh because they at least can play defense a little bit. The Rams are struggling mightily. They don't look good at all. But I don't think Carolina's got enough to hurt them. Golly, I don't know how the Rams can beat anybody by 10. I just can't take the Rams minus 10. Even, well, it's Carolina. I guess I'll stick with the Rams minus 10, but I wouldn't bet this one.
I think there's better games to bet. I'll take the Rams minus 10, though. Carolina pretty.
Oh, that over-under at 42. I think I'd go under because I don't think the Panthers can score more than 10.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. I mean, it's going to be a terrible game. I'll take the Rams and just move on, but I'm not betting this one. No. All right, let's move on. Cardinals and the Seahawks, Battle of the Birds in Seattle. Arizona 2.5-point favorite on the road. Well, you've mentioned it, though. They play better on the road. What do you think is going to happen in Seattle?
They got them right where they want them. They're on the road. So I'll take the Cardinals minus 2.5.
Seattle plus 2.5. Cardinals they stink. They're awful. All right, Bills on the road. A 2.5-point favorite on the road against the Chiefs. One of two marquee games we're going to talk about here. Chiefs, Mahomes has not been a home underdog ever. So this will be interesting. So what do you think, Bills or Chiefs?
Oh, this is going to be a great game. You know the Bills are laying for them. You know they are. It's a regular season game. I don't know how much you're going to lay for somebody in a regular season game, but you know they've been pointing to this. I didn't think the Chiefs looked very good Monday night against the Raiders, but they won. That's all that matters. I cannot pick against the Chiefs in Kansas City. I just can't. So I'm going to take the Chiefs plus 2.5.
I'm going to take the Bills minus 2.5. I think they're the most consistent team. I think they're the best team this year. I think they're going to come out and prove it. I'm going to go Bills minus 2.5. The Chiefs way too inconsistent for me, but we'll see. Though he'll probably show up and play great. But you just listen. This Chiefs team, you never know.
You don't know what they're going to do.
You never know. So we'll see. I'm gonna go Bills. All right. Cowboys and the Eagles, the Sunday night football game. 6.5-point favorite for the Eagles coming into this one. Can they stay unbeaten? What do you think?
Well, they might. I think that's too many points. I love Dallas's defense. I think they can shut them down. I don't know if they win or not because I don't know how much offense they can generate. 6.5 is too many. I'm going Dallas plus 6.5.
Dallas plus 6.5. Exactly. Yes.
That may be my best bet on Sunday.
Ooh, I don't know if it's a best bet type of thing, but I do think they're going to win or they're going to keep it close. I don't know if they'll win or not. I think it'll be.
I didn't say they're going to win. I said plus 6.5.
Kevin B says Cooper Rush is going to get exposed this game, and then Dak will be back next week. I think if they're waiting for the Cowboys to lose before they kind of switch the quarterbacks back, and if they lose this week, that could be what's going to happen. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk Broncos Chargers?
No, I do not.
Okay, we'll save that for Monday. It's going to be
I don't know. I want to talk about it on Monday either.
They should play this game on Halloween because it's like a nightmare.
I'll tell you one thing. If the Chargers don't beat them more than 4.5, they are really horrendous. They should cover that 4.5, I think.
You don't think Russ is going to come out with an inspired effort and beat them?
I think Russ's best has faded away. That's what I think.
I would take Russ W., who comments on the show, more than I would take Russell Wilson at a quarterback position right now. How about that? He's awful. All right. That's it. Hey, Rush, you're still here. Broncos in prime time for the fourth time already.
Is that not ridiculous?
I think they thought Russell Wilson would be good and everything was going to be fun and they'd be a fun team to watch, and they're not. So.
They're just terrible to watch.
I will say this. They are kind of funny to watch.
Well, you're just waiting for the coach to do something stupid.
Yeah, or the quarterback. So they're kind of funny to watch. They're kind of entertaining in that regard. So
yeah.
All right, we've done it. We have 1 minute. Do you have any questions?
Well, is Dennis still around?
Dennis, he's still in the chat.
He was wanting us to do 2 questions.
Okay, yeah, we'll do those 2. They're kind of quick ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Your go-to chip.
Go-to chip is the question.
You don't so.
Doritos spicy nacho. That's my go-to chip.
Oh God. I'm a very plain chip eater.
Yeah.
I come from the era when there was only one flavor of chips. You didn't have 90 million flavors of chips. Now you go potato chips. Lay's has got like 50 different flavors you can pick from.
Right.
I don't know if you notice that or not. So I just like a plain Lay's potato chip, either the wavy kind, Ruffles, whatever, or regular.
So you'll go with just the plain.
A plain chip. I don't care if it's Ruffles or whatever I said.
Yeah.
Regular chip. Love
sour cream and onion. Thoughts on sour cream and onion? You like that?
Yeah, I can eat it. If I'm going to pick a flavor, I'll just do honey barbecue chips.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sun Chip Harvest.
Huh. I like JL again. I'm a very plain chip eater. I love plain sun chips. I ate some a while ago.
Used to be KC Masterpiece Barbecue Ruffles. Those were good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could do those. Yeah.
Sweet Southern Heat Lay's barbecue chips. Very good.
Yeah.
Have you ever had those?
I'm sure I have. Yes.
They're very good.
I like barbecue chips. Yes.
Cheez-Its, Dennis says. You ever had a
Those are like little crackers, right?
Yeah.
No, those are nasty.
Sour cream and onion.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I can eat them. I like plain chips.
Yeah.
Wants to establish the run and hates the DH. Pretty good, JL. Very good. I do hate the DH. I think it's ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah, he's very easy to please. Exactly.
Yeah, my wife, she can't figure out. You just buy those plain chips. I said, yeah, I can eat the whole bag. I can. There's nothing better than the first potato chip out of the bag.
I agree. They are good. They are very good. I like plain chips when I'm eating like burgers and something.
Sure.
But anything else, I want those spicy nachos. I do like the Cool Ranch Doritos as well, Russ. I do like those. Yeah.
You know, I used to have a snack every night about 8:00. Back when I was younger, I'd have chips of some kind or popcorn. I don't do that much anymore. I don't eat much at night anymore. I might have a small miniature bag of microwave popcorn.
Yeah. Popcorn's kind of the thing now.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to eat just one and stop? Yes, Dennis, it's impossible.
It is impossible.
I cannot do it. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. One more.
All right. Last one.
Fritos. Yeah, I do like Fritos, Russ.
I do too.
I like them a lot.
JL.
Or JL, I'm sorry. Yeah, I love Frito pie.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite soda. Now, you don't drink soda anymore, and I don't either, but it's not because I don't like it.
Coca-Cola is my favorite soda. Just the
okay.
regular Coca-Cola.
No question. Me too. I don't drink it much. I'm not saying I never drink it. Like if I go to a pizza buffet or something, and I'll drink a Coke.
Yeah.
But I don't buy it at the store. Sandy and I, neither one of us drink pop. I don't think you and Heather do either. But it's not because I don't like it, because I do. I don't know how good for you it is.
It's terrible for you.
Yeah, I'm not a health freak, but I know a lot of people that drink a lot of pop through the day, and by the time they get my age, they're not very healthy. So I've kind of stayed away from it.
I absolutely love Coke, but I haven't had one in 2 years now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't drink any soda at all.
I think you had the kidney stone problems.
Yes,
from it.
And that was it.
Now I do like 7-Up. Like most people don't like 7-Up, but I do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's bad for you. As bad. Orange soda, okay.
Orange soda's good. Yeah.
After you hit middle school, you can't drink orange soda or grape. You can't do grape either.
Grape's good, but yeah. There's a Jones soda that's really, really good.
I've never seen that.
I've seen these, Dennis, but I've never had them.
Never heard of that.
Yeah. Hey, here's a question from the Lord, as I call him. He likes to. He's from overseas. He likes to come on and watch our shows sometime. He made his first American sports bet today.
Okay.
He played a double, which was a parlay, basically. Astros and the Las Vegas Golden Knights parlay. Do you like his chances?
Love it.
I do too. I think that's a great bet.
I don't see any way Seattle can bounce back tonight against Houston after blowing that game. And Vegas plays the Blackhawks, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
You should cash that. But when you make American sports bets, my Lord, good luck, because anything can happen.
I'm going to start calling you my Lord now after that. That's great. Vegas is playing the Blackhawks tonight. The Blackhawks coming off a horrific game 1 last night against
They're not very good.
Colorado.
You know what? The Blackhawks are completely rebuilding.
Yeah.
And their 2 stars, they still have them, right?
Yeah.
Kane and Taves. Somebody's going to get them or some draft picks or something. You watch, and I hope it's the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, me too.
I was looking at the Blues roster today because I was getting ready for the hockey season to start. We didn't do anything in the offseason, did we?
No.
I don't like our chances. I don't understand why we didn't. We lost Perron, 25 goal scorer, winging back. We didn't get anybody to replace him.
No.
I don't like it.
No.
Something's up.
They think they've got guys that are going to come up and be players for him. Jake Neighbors being one.
Yeah, but they sent him to the minors and had to bring him up because somebody
that was more like a roster thing they had to do. I think they're going to be okay, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Don't have a lot of depth. That's a problem.
I have a theory.
Okay.
You want to hear it real quick?
Yes. You got 2 minutes.
I know. Okay. Ryan O'Reilly, Tarasenko are in their contract years, correct?
Right.
Can't sign them both. I don't think. Do you?
No.
I think we're going to tank this season, get rid of one of them so we can sign the other one.
Is O'Reilly in a contract year?
I think so. I think they both are at the same time.
I'm trying to see. I don't think that's true. I know Tarasenko, this is it.
I think they both are up for long terms.
Ooh, they are.
Yep. I'm telling you, they didn't make any moves in the offseason. That scares me because they don't do that. They usually go get somebody.
Yeah, 22-23. That's his last year. That's not good.
Both. And
well, it's pretty simple. Tarasenko's not going to be back. Tarasenko didn't want to play there the last 2 years anyway, so I don't think he's coming back.
Why didn't they get rid of him? Why didn't they go get somebody?
I don't think he had the value needed to, because they have to have him. So
well, I agree, but let's say he scores 45 goals. Let's say Riley plays great. What are they going to do?
I don't know.
They're in a mess.
The Blues could be deadline sellers if they don't. I mean, if they tank it, yeah, they're going to be sellers.
That's what I'm alluding to. I am very surprised they didn't make a change. Now, I'm not a Perron fan at all, but he scored 25, 26 goals. I don't see anybody on that roster that's going to do that.
I don't know how you can't be a Perron fan.
I just never liked him that well. I don't hate him. I mean, I didn't care that they didn't pay him. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he was a $5 million a year guy.
That's probably true, but he was fantastic for this last run with the Blues.
Absolutely. Yeah. But they don't sign guys 36, 37 years old to long-term contracts. They don't do that. They never have.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. But not going out and getting somebody that can score some goals alarms me.
Yeah.
They didn't make any changes to a team that was pretty good, better than most, but not there. This team they have now is not going to win the Stanley Cup. There's
no. Well, on that positive and cheery note, we're going to get out of here because I've got blinkers off. Blinkers off coming up in 21 minutes. Now, listen, here's the good news.
Okay.
We're going to talk all Breeders' Cup. We're going to give our way too early Breeders' Cup predictions. We're going to look at the overseas markets for all the races. And I've got a special guest. Mike Somich is going to come on and help me do that. So it's going to be Somich and I coming up 21 minutes away. It's going to be fun. I promise. I give you my word. It's going to be a fun show. And then right after that, Mike Somich has to go deal with Magic and do a Magic Mike show. So it's a busy, busy day. We're going to keep it going. All right, guys, we're going to get off here for now. Good luck to everybody betting this weekend on the football games. And if you want to watch some horse racing stuff, it's coming up for you next. So, all right, we'll see you guys on this show on Monday.
This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and it's Follow the Coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit